Good morning, Jose. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming to taking the time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I know. It's not like you had a choice.
no.
Very good. So you're promoting Bad Monkey. This series is really, really good. These people are putting out top-notch performances. How does it feel to be part of like this all-star cast?
Oh, man, I'm completely humbled. You know, this show is filled with these great comedians, and typically people don't think I'm funny. So just trying to keep up with them has been was a breathtaking experience. You know, they're very good at what they do.
You have a scene there with one of the main characters, in which is that a wig or is that really your hair?
Oh, that's my hair. All of that is my hair. Yeah, that's me. I know people probably wouldn't want to look like me naturally, but that is the way I am. Me unadorned.
Did you really work hard to get into this character, or did it come natural for you?
So I am a Florida boy, and so these are people that I know very, very, very well. And you know, the Keys lifestyle is kind of like Florida, is Florida boiled down. And no, so I sort of fell into it like riding a bicycle. And I've been a lifetime long fan of the author Carl Hiassen and all of his books. So this is a story and a tempo and a feeling that's kind of in my blood. Yeah.
Duval Street has a national bird, the chicken.
Yeah. They wake you up every morning. Yeah, the roosters crowing all the time. Yeah, everywhere, man. You got and they're it's a little startling to see chickens wandering the streets, but then you got iguanas there too, and cats the size of dogs. So the Keys are very, very strange, and the animals aren't even nearly as strange as the people are. So it's a very entertaining place to be.
My favorite part of the Keys is the Sunset Festival. How often do you take part in that?
I don't get down to the Keys that often, but when I'm there, you just cannot. You can't miss it, right? You don't know what's going to happen. It's a very entertaining time.
So you're from this is a very Florida crime. The crazy is that the characters seems like they are all from Florida.
Yeah,
they're very eclectic.
I'm sorry. What was that?
There's a very eclectic characters, are very eclectic, very unique within themselves.
Yeah, like I said, this is a Bad Monkey is based on a novel by Carl Hiassen, who's kind of the king of Florida comedy, crime novelist, and Bad Monkey is an array of the greatest of those kinds of characters. You've got corrupt developers and politicians that want to help them pave paradise and build timeshares, and plucky Floridians who are trying to stop them. And then there's an assortment of Key West weirdos, all the strangest characters, in the country, all gathered together and forming a community. And it's one of the great things about the city, and one of the great things about his book.
Something here about Yale University.
Yeah. You are living in the city where a lot of my greatest misadventures of my youth took place out there. I was spent 4 years. I am a very old blue from back in the 70s. I have some great memories of New Haven.
Are you still a pizza fan of New Haven's pizza? Still a fan, I should say, of New Haven's pizza.
Yes. So New Haven pizza kind of makes life hard for you once you move out. You can't find pizza anywhere near as good once you leave the city. But sometimes you just have to move on and do your best.
So you're really a theater guy turned TV movie. I mean, you got really a lot of credits. What talents do you bridge between the two?
I don't think there's a big difference between acting in television and or film and acting on the stage. It's the same thing. It's just pretending to be somebody else, right? It's just the scale at which you do it. And there's a great quote from Peter Sellers. A writer asked him what was his favorite character to play, and he said, "I can't tell you what my favorite character to play is. I can only tell you that my least favorite character to play is Peter Sellers." And I feel that same way about myself. I kind of almost rather be anybody else than Tom Nowicki most of the time. I like to pretend. So, and that's, I think, what you need to have to be an actor.
You worked with the great late Paul Newman. What kind of experience was that?
Oh, my God. So, when I was growing up, my high school drama teacher worshipped Paul Newman, and she thought that, he was the epitome of the American actor. And so we studied his work all the time. And for my, the first audition I did for a feature film was a film that he was directing called Harry and Son. And I remember, walking into that room, and walking into the room to be interviewed by a god, right? And so, and the first thing I saw were these really skinny, pale white legs up on the table with bright yellow socks and bright blue sneakers on there, and they belonged to Paul Newman. So that's the bottom half, and the top half of them is a bronze god. And I realized that he had done that probably because everybody walking into that room was going to be, oh my God, I'm going up in front of Paul Newman, and that immediately made him a human being. It took a lot of the tension out of it, and it was actually kind of one of the best experiences of my working life, working with him. He taught me a lot, and both as an actor and being a human being in this business. So yeah, I loved working on that film with him. Yeah.
We're going to go right back into Bad Monkey now. You see how I like to jump around. I'm as bipolar as like a teenager right now. You're pulling double duty. You're narrating, and let me tell you, your narration is so matter of fact. It's so grounded. I mean, how do you prepare for the voiceover, because that's a little bit distinct from the acting part, or do you think they're the same?
It's the first time I've ever done this kind of narration, like in character for a series, and it wasn't originally part of the show. They decided to add this only after they cut it all together and realized that some of the plot lines needed to be tied together a little bit. So they took a big chance on me. Like I said, I'd never done it before, and Bill Lawrence and Matt Tarses and Kip Kroger, who are the producers, worked with me tirelessly over Zoom while we recorded these things, and they held my hand. And there's one of my other favorite lines in films is from Spinal Tap. There's a fine line between brilliant and stupid, and that really applies to doing this kind of narration, this comedy narration, because it's really easy to overdo it and really easy to underdo it as well. But they got me right into that narrow little path, I think, and I owe it all to them. We just keep trying things until they made me do something that worked. So all the credit goes to those boys.
You're very humble. You take no credit for the great work that you're doing on this on this show. Fishing boat captain. I mean, are you an avid fisherman or?
No, actually, so I'm a pretty avid vegetarian. So, eating anything with a face is bad enough, but catching anything would be hard too. But no, I am not a fisherman, but I do love to be out on the water. So I was able, and we didn't do a lot of actual fishing. That was okay. Yeah.
I mean, this thing is, why is this show so popular? What do you think is the secret sauce? It's got 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, I'm a big fan. I personally know, but can you share what you think is the secret sauce?
Well, I think it's because it's funny. I think, the end of the summer is a great time. This is like your end of the summer beach read, right? It's a way to relax and have fun and enjoy yourself. And it's different from most of the detective shows. Most detective shows feature either a sad detective or an even sadder detective. Somebody's with a broken life, struggling with alcoholism and stuff like that, and they're just managing to hold it all together. Andrew Yancy is kind of, the embodiment of optimism. stuff keeps going wrong in his life, but he keeps going right on through with a big smile on his face and a sense of humor. It's just, I think it's how we would like our lives to go, right? Not a problem comes up and we solve it with fun. We solve it with comedy. And so I think that's what the appeal is. Not to mention, the crazy characters that are in this show. So.
Very good. Thank you very much for your time. I'll be mailing you a Frank Pepe's pizza, all right?
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
You too. Thanks, Jose.